Dong Zhuo was born in the far northwest at Lin Tao in the West Valley Land. As the governor of Hedong, Dong Zhuo himself was arrogant and overbearing, but the day he had treated Liu Bei with contumely had been his last, had not Liu Bei and Guan Yu restrained their wrathful brother Zhang Fei.
"Remember, here's the government commission. Who are we to judge and slay?"
said Liu Bei.
"It is bitter to take orders from such a wretch. I would rather slay him. You may stay here if you wish to, but I will seek some other place,"
said Zhang Fei.
"We three are one in life and death. There is no parting for us. We will all go hence."
So spoke Liu Bei, and his brother was satisfied. Wherefore all three set out and lost no time in traveling until they came to Zhuzhun, who received them well and accepted their aid in attacking Zhang Bao. At this time, Cao Cao had joined himself to Huang Fusong, and they were trying to destroy Zhang Liang, and there was a great battle at Chuyang. Zhang Bao was commanding some 80,000 troops. The rebel had led his army to a strong position in the rear of the hills. An attack being decided upon, Liu Bei was the van leader. On the rebel side, a general of Zhang Bao, Gao Sheng, came out to offer battle. Liu Bei sent Zhang Fei to smite Gao Sheng. Outrode Zhang Fei, at full speed, his spear ready set. After a few bouts, Zhang Fei wounded Gao Sheng, who was unhorsed. At this, Liu Bei signaled the main army to advance. Then Zhang Bao, while still mounted, loosened his hair, grasped his sword, and uttered his incantations. Thereupon began the wind to howl, and the thunder to roll, while a dense black cloud from the heavens settled upon the field. And therein seemed to be horsemen and footmen innumerable, swept to attack the imperial troops. Fear came upon them, and Liu Bei led off his troops, but they were in disorder and returned defeated. Zhu Jun and Liu Bei considered the matter.
"Zhang Bao uses magic,"
said Zhu Jun.
"Tomorrow, then, will I prepare counter-magic in the shape of blood of slaughtered swine and goats. This blood shall be sprinkled upon their hosts from the precipices above my soldiers in ambush. Thus shall we be able to break through their shamanic art."
So it was done. Guan Yu and Zhang Fei took each 1,000 troops and hid them on the high cliffs behind the hills, and they had plentiful supply of blood of swine and goats and all manner of filthy things. And so next day, when the rebels with fluttering banners and rolling drums came out to challenge, Liu Bei rode forth to meet them. At the same moment that the armies met, again Zhang Bao began his magic, and again the elements began to struggle together. Sand flew in clouds, pebbles were swept along the ground, black masses of vapor filled the skies, and rolling masses of foot and horse sent from on high. Liu Bei turned, as before, to flee, and the rebels rushed on. But as they pressed through the hills, trumpets blared, and the hidden soldiers exploded bombs, threw down filth, and spattered blood. The masses of soldiers and horses in the air fluttered to the earth as fragments of torn paper. The wind ceased to blow, the thunder subsided, the sand sank, and the pebbles lay still upon the ground. Zhang Bao quickly saw his magic had been countered and turned to retire. Then he was attacked on the flanks by Guan Yu and Zhang Fei, and in the rear by Liu Bei and Zhu Jun. The rebels were routed. Liu Bei, seeing from afar the banner Zhang Bao, the Lord of Earth, galloped towards it, but only succeeded in wounding Zhang Bao with an arrow in the left arm. Wounded though he was, Zhang Bao got away into the city of Yangcheng, where he fortified himself and was besieged by Zhu Jun. Scouts, sent to get news of Huang Fusong, reported. Commander Huang Fusong had been very successful, and Dong Zhuo had suffered many reverses. Therefore, the court put Huang Fusong in the latter's place. Zhang Jiao had died before Huang Fusong's arrival. Zhang Liang had added his brother's army to his own, but no headway could be made against Huang Fusong, whose army gained 7 successive victories, and Zhang Liang was slain at Kuyang. Beside this, Zhang Jiao's coffin was exhumed, the corpse beheaded, and the head, after exposure, was sent to capital Luoyang. The common crowd had surrendered. For these services, Huang Fusong was promoted to general of the Flying Chariots and the imperial protector of Zhizhou. Huang Fusong did not forget his friends. His first act after he had attained to power was to memorialize the throne concerning the case of Lu Ji, who was then restored to his former rank for his meritorious conduct. Cao Cao also received advancement for his services, and is preparing to go to Jinan to his new post. Hearing these things, Zhu Jun pressed harder yet upon Yang Cheng, and the approaching breakup of the rebellion became evident. Then one of Zhang Bao's officers, Yan Zheng, killed his leader and brought the head in token of submission. Thus, rebellion in that part of the country was stamped out, and Zhu Jun made his report to the government. However, the embers of the Yellow Turban still smoldered. 3 other rebels, Zhao Hong, Han Zhong, and Sun Zhong, gathered some 30,000 rebels and began to murder and rob and burn, calling themselves the Avengers of Master Zhang Jiao. The court commanded the successful Zhu Jun to lead his veteran and successful troops to destroy the rebels. He at once marched towards the city of Yancheng, which the rebels were holding. When Zhu Jun arrived, Han Zhong went to oppose him. Zhu Jun sent Liu Bei and his brothers to attack the southwest corner of the city. Han Zhong at once led the best of his troops to defend the city. Meanwhile, Zhu Jun himself led 2,000 of armored horsemen to attack the opposite corner. The rebels, thinking the city being lost, abandoned the southwest and turned back into the city to help the defenders. Liu Bei pressed hotly in their rear, and they were utterly routed. They took refuge in the city, which was then invested. When famine pressed upon the besieged, they sent a messenger to offer to surrender, but Zhu Jun refused the offer.
Seeing that the founder of the Han dynasty, Liu Bang, the supreme ancestor, could welcome the submissive and receive the favorable, why reject these?
Said Liu Bei to Zhu Jun.
Our conditions are different,
Replied Zhu Jun.
In those old days, disorder was universal, and the people had no fixed lord. Wherefore, submission was welcomed, and support rewarded to encourage people to come over. Now the empire is unified, and the Yellow Turbans are the only malcontents. To receive their surrender is not to encourage the good. To allow brigands, when successful, is to give way to every license, and to let them surrender when they fail is to encourage brigandage. Your plan is not a good one.
Liu Bei replied,
Not to let the brigands surrender is well, but the city is surrounded as by an iron barrel. If the rebels' request be refused, they will be desperate and fight to the death, and we can hardly withstand a myriad of such men. Moreover, in the city there are many times that number, all doomed to death. Let us withdraw from one corner and only attack the opposite. They will all assuredly flee and have no desire to fight. We shall take them.
Zhu Jun saw the advice was good, and followed it. As predicted, the rebels ran out, led by Han Zhong. The besiegers fell upon them as they fled, and Han Zhong was slain. The rebels scattered in all directions, but the other 2 rebel chieftains, Zhao Hong and Sun Zhong, came with large reinforcements, and as they appeared very strong, the imperial soldiers retired, and the new body of rebels re-entered Yangcheng. Zhu Jun encamped 3 miles from the city, and prepared to attack. Just then, there arrived a body of horse and foot from the east. At the lead was one general with a broad, open face, a body as an alert tiger's, and a torso as a lofty bear's. His name was Sun Jian.